Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Kuldeep here, and today we are going to learn about iFrames in Selenium WebDriver. So as the part of today's session, we will learn like what is the iFrame, how to identify the iFrame on a web page, how to get the total number of iFrame present on a web page, and then we will see how to switch to the iFrame, and in the last we will see how to switch back to main page from iFrame. So guys, this is the agenda for the today's session. So let's start. Before moving to the practical, let's try to understand couple of things theoretically. Okay, these are the important concepts that you should be aware about it. First is like what is the iframe? Iframe in the HTML stands for the inline frame. It is a web page which is embedded in another web page. Okay, or we can say like it is a HTML document embedded inside another HTML document, and it is used to insert the content from another source such as an advertisement into a web page. And the iframe tag defines inline frame. Okay, so this is the way you can define the concept of iframe. Okay, coming to the next point. The next point is like how to identify the iframe. Like we cannot identify the iframe just by looking the web page. In that case, what we need to do, so I have opened this URL on the Chrome browser. Okay, and the same URL I have opened on the Firefox browser. We need to identify the iframe on this web page. Okay, so just by looking this web page, you cannot identify that what is the iframe here. So how we can do it? So say like if I right click on this web page, okay, so if we find any options that are related to the frame, then we can say that that is the iframe. Okay, so like say I have clicked on this section, but I cannot find anything that it is related to the iframe, okay, or frame. In the same way, like you cannot find anything related to the frame here in this section. But I click on this section, then you can see that it shows one option as the view frame source. Okay, so that means this is the frame on this web page. Okay, but my understanding is that different browsers render the page in the different way. Okay, and provide the different techniques to identify the iframe. So say like I have opened the same web page on a Firefox browser, and then now if I try to right click here, then you can see like it again like does not give anything that is related to the iframe. Okay, but when I click here, then you can see like it gives an option that is this frame. Okay, so which means like this is a iframe here. And now when I click here, so you can see like again this indicates this advertisement is basically displayed inside a iframe, but I'm not sure like why it is not giving this for the Chrome browser. Okay, anyway, let's move to the next point. And another way is like you can right click on the web page and click the view page source. Okay, so if you click on the web page source and search for the iframe, okay, so like I search for the iframe here, you can get some tags, okay, that are starting with the iframe, which means that particular frame contains some iframe inside it. Okay, so I think this is the section where they have defined certain iframe containers and the iframe for this web page. Okay, these are the two ways by which you can identify the iframe on any web page. Let's move to the next point. And our next point is like how to get the total number of iframes present on a web page. This is the method. Okay, so for that we need to write the program. Let me create one program. So let's create a Java class as a frame demo. Select this main method from here, right? And let's utilize the code to launch the Chrome browser. Okay, and we need to change the URL here. Okay, so to get the total number of frames displayed on this web page, we need to write the method like driver dot find elements, and we know that the starting tag for the iframe is the iframe, so I will write the y dot tag name, and tag name is iframe. Okay, so with the help of size method we can get the total number of iframes present on any web page, and as it is returning the integer value, so I can store it inside a integer variable. We can give any name, so I will write the frame count here. Okay, and after that we can simply print it out, so I will write this is out frame count is right. So this is the way we can get the total number of frame present on this web page. Okay, right. And let's execute this program to get the total number of frame present on this web page. So here you can see like the total number of frames are the 4 here. Okay, remove this one, it is not required here. Okay, and before moving to the next point, let's try one thing here. So here you can see this particular frame contains a link, that is the visit w3c schools.com. So let's try to click on it. So first identify this web element, right click inspect, and let's highlight this one. Okay, so we can see like it has the text like visit w3schools.com. So I will utilize this text to identify this link, driver dot find element by dot link text, and our link text is the visit w3schools.com, and let's try to click on it. Okay, and let me comment these out because it is not required to run this frame count again and again. And now let's execute this program. Okay, so here you can see like we have identified web element correctly, but still it is not clicking on this particular link. Okay, and it is giving us an exception like no such element exception, and it is unable to locate the web element. So basically it is not finding the element at all here, but we know like we have identified the XPath correctly. So what is the problem here? Let me close these windows. Okay, if we talk about the hierarchy here, so first comes the web page. So web page means like as soon as you have launch the Chrome browser and trying to open any URL, so this is our web page. By default the control remains on this web page. Okay, and so we are easily able to interact on the web element which are the part of this web element, right? But there are a couple of elements that are the part of this frame. Okay, but the driver is not aware about those iframes, and that's why it is not able to interact the web element which are the part of iframe, right? So what is the solution for the same? To fix this out, basically we need to switch our driver to that particular iframe, and after that the driver get the details of that iframe, then it will be easily able to interact on the web element which are the part of iframe. Okay, so this is the same thing which I have explained in this point. So hierarchy goes in this way, like web page having some web element. Okay, after that iframe, which we know like it is a part of your web page itself, which again can contain its own element, right? So by opening the web page, we can perform the action on the web elements, okay, but not on the web element that are the part of iframe. That is the reason we need to perform the switch operation. After that, we will able to deal with the elements that are the part of iFrame. Okay. So I hope you got the point, like why we need to switch to the iFrame. Okay. Let's move to the next point and we will see like what are the different way via which we can switch to the iFrame. Okay. So we need to use the driver's switch to frame command. Okay. And then we will able to switch to the different iframes. So we can switch to the iframe in three different ways. First is like switch to frame, and we need to pass the frame name or ID. Okay. So with the help of that, we can switch to the iframe. Okay. Let's see what is the frame ID or the frame name here. So I will simply inspect, and here we can see like it has the ID as a iframe result. Okay. And the name is the same, like, so it contains ID and the name as the iframe result only. So let's use anything, use the ID. So what is required here, we need to switch on that particular iframe. So let's write driver dot switch to dot frame, and we need to pass our the ID of frame or the name. So this is the name. Here you know like the name and ID are same, so we can pass anything. Okay. What I am doing here, so basically I am switching to the iframe. So I am switching to this iframe, right, before interacting on the web element which are the part of this iframe. As we know, like this visit w3schools.com, it is a link and it is present inside this iframe. So first we need to switch to this iframe, then we can click on this link. Okay. So let's execute this program and see. And let's close my driver here. So I will write the driver dot close. Okay. And let's add some wait as well. So let me write thread dot sleep. Okay. So let's add the wait of 3 seconds here. Okay. And just include that add throws declaration. And let's execute the program again. Okay. So here you can see like it has launched the web page, and after that it has switched to this iframe, and after that it clicked to the visit w3schools.com. This is the way you can switch to the iframe and work on the web elements which are the part of your iframe. Let's see what is the next method. So the next method says that with the help of switch to frames, we can pass the web element as well. Okay. So what we need to do here, we can simply identify iframe. Okay. So I can use the ID here. It is again very simple point. So we can write in this way, driver dot find element by dot ID, and my ID is this one. Okay. We can capture this particular element inside a web element. So I will write the web element, and let's name it like frame element. Okay. Import the correct package here from here. Okay. Okay, sorry. So there is some spell mistake. Okay. Okay. And now import the correct package. Right. So what I have done, actually I have captured the detail of this particular iframe inside a web element, and now I will use this web element to switch to the iframe. So we can write like driver dot switch to dot frame, and I will pass my web element which I have captured here. So that is the frame element only. Again, we can execute the program. Okay, so it is working perfectly fine. Now let's see what is the next method. Okay, so the next method is like system frame, and we can pass the index number, int frame number. Okay, so pass the frame index and driver will switch to that frame. Okay, and index of the iframe start with the 0. Say like we have the multiple frames on a web page, and indexing start with the 0. So there can be 0, 1, 2 and so on frames, and if we know the index of that particular frame, then we can pass the index number there. Okay, and then we can switch to that particular iframe. So we can write in this way, like driver dot switch to dot frame. Here we can pass our index number. Okay, so it can be anything, and after that we can switch to the iframe. Okay, so this is the way you can pass the index number as well to switch to the various index, but it is not a preferred way because the index of that particular frame may keep changing. Okay, so it is good to avoid that. Okay, now let's see the another concept. As the part of that, what we need to do, so here you can see like there is one button, get your own website, and when I click on it, so you can see like it is opening a new page with the title like create a free website. So what I need to do, I want to click on it, so I will simply inspect it out. Okay, so it has id as the get website button. Okay, we can identify the save element like driver dot find element by dot id, and id is this. Okay, and now let's try to click this button. Okay, so it should open the this create a free website homepage. Okay, so let's execute this program and see is it opening or not. Okay, so here you can see like it has clicked on w3cschools.com link. Okay, so basically it has clicked on this w3cschools.com link, but it is not clicking on the on this button. Okay, it is not clicking on this button. So again, like, where is the problem? So the problem is like the driver's control is still inside the frame. Okay, so what we need to do here, we need to bring the control back from the driver to the main window, so that driver should be able to interact with the web element which are the present on the main page. So for that we need to write the driver dot switch to default context. So I will simply write here the driver dot switch to dot default context, right? And now if I try to execute this program again, then ideally it should work. Okay, so here you can see like it has clicked on the link, and again you can see like it has clicked on the button as well, and that's why we are able to see this web page, and that is like create a free website. Okay guys, so this is all about the frames concept. Okay, and I believe like I have covered all the items which was the agenda of today's session. Hope it is helpful, and it will help you to deal with the frames in your project. Okay, that's it for the today's session. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks a lot.